Party government, the Labour Party administration under Dr. Kenny Anthony cannot be trusted to lead this country again. We have had too much labor pains in this country, and it's time for Kenny and the boys and the girls to pack and go. My people of Micoud, if you want equal opportunities for all, if you want economic growth and stability, if you want youth empowerment and development, if you want a world-class and affordable health care, if you want a globally competitive education, if you want to raise your children in a safe and secure environment, you have to vote the Labour Party out and put back the United Workers' Party to govern this country. The track record of the United Workers' Party is there for all to see. It's there for all to see. We are not a party with opportunities for a selected few. It is going to be for each and every St. Lucian, man, woman, and child. The United Workers' Party, my people, have also shown us through hard times that we can be a party of resilience, a party which can overcome all obstacles in our way. We kept this country afloat through drought, through earthquake, the worst financial recession in modern times, and of course, Hurricane Thomas. And today, my people of Micoud, the ship is sinking under the captaincy of Dr. Kenny Anthony and First Mate Kenny Philip J. Pierre. I can assure you tonight that under the captaincy of Alan Shastney and the crew of men and women on this platform, St. Lucia, the ship is going to be on the right course again. We have to say no to a government that removes subsidies on basic food items. We have to say no to a government that increases water by 66%. We have to say no to a government that cuts school transportation and feeding programs. We have to say no, my people, to a government with no respect and admiration for our law enforcement officers. We have to say no to a government which leases our seabed without the signature of our Governor General. We have to say no to a government which have our medical facilities in the doldrums. And we have to say no to a government which victimizes and intimidates our people because of their political affiliation. We have to say no to Kenny, no to Labour. Mamai Flambeau, are you all ready? Are you all ready to take St. Lucia back from the Labour Party? Are you ready to return St. Lucia to the able hands of the United Workers' Party? We have to come out and vote on election day. We have to come out in numbers. We have to come out in droves. We have to bring our neighbors. We have to bring our friends, our family. We have to bring our husbands, our wives, and every single voter you can think of to vote on election day. We have to register as many young people as possible to get the ID cards so they could come and make the difference in this election. And doing this is not for me, it is not for Alan Shastney or any of the men and women on this platform. It is for this country, it is for you, it is for the children, the grandchildren of St. Lucia. I would like to congratulate all the candidates who have been endorsed, especially the newcomers. And we have to prepare and work hard. We have to work as a team to get this St. Lucia Labour Party off the backs of the people of St. Lucia. I thank you and good night.
Bon, Nancy. When we are in school, okay, and we are looking at the report card of the Labour Party, Now, when you are misbehaving in school, what is the first thing they do to you? No.
It started like this.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy to finance job creation activities throughout the length and breadth of this island.
But ended like this.
The economy has undergone tremendous stress.
One of the worst economic records in the region. Between 2012 and 2014, St. Lucia lost over 4,000 jobs. Unemployment rate has gone up to almost 26%. He implemented VAT at 15%. Under his policies, St. Lucia's ease of doing business rating fell from number 53 in 2011 to 100 in 2014. In 2 years, Kenny Anthony borrowed more than half the total monies that the United Workers' Party borrowed in their entire 5-year stint and left the country with $383 million deeper in debt. So now, when Kenny Anthony talks about what he will do for the unemployed,
This government will continue to ease the burden of those who are unemployed.
remember, we've heard it all before.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy.
Kennynomics. It didn't work before, and it certainly won't work now.
And Mr. Herod Stanislas.
Labo say unite, unite, put an X by the flabo and make your choice right. Labo say unite, unite, the little children and the future to be bright. Labo say unite, unite, put an X by the flabo and make your choice right. Labo
Ladies
say
and gentlemen,
unite, the little children and the future to
we
be
are
bright.
doing our homework.
Unemployment rate is for job and the banana industry.
And as the weeks and months go by, we will continue to endorse and present the balance of our United Workers' Party team. So I'm going to give a big round of applause to those 3 new candidates.
Mwen di zo, si zo vle, ekwi let la na isiye, men nou ka vwa let bay Kenny oswe a, mou ka di tout nom la i nom la, si yo kouye Kenny D. Anthony, call the elections now! E ka chol mou ka isav, ki les ki pa we, e ki les ki pa pa we. Mwen sa si wo oswe a, you can see that the United Workers' Party is ready. Are you ready? Let me see those of you with your ID card. Let me see if everybody that has the ID card. Let me see your hands. You ready? The United Workers' Party is ready. Ek me se ouwe bagaye, ko United Workers' Party ha komanse, actuellement le baka dekambwele. Nou ka tan jou apre jou, ki sa ka kouye disi, sa ka kouye disa. Yo vle menan lot leader, yo vle fe tout sort kalte bagay. But the United Workers' Party, we are stronger than ever, we are united, and we are one, and we are ready to govern this country. This is the party, and this is the team of men and women that will govern your country and remove the hardships on the back of St. Lucians. Right now, we're coming down to the south. We're coming home now. We have a gentleman, one of the most humble person I think I have ever met. One of the persons I think Mr. Shasne would say, anytime you have a problem and after we go back and forth, you call that man, and when he speaks, everybody listens. I want to introduce you right now, the parliamentary representative for Micoud South, the gentleman who has worked hard for you over the last, how many years? Has it been 15 years? It's 14 years now, and next year will be 15 years. Your parliamentary representative in the person of Honorable Asun James, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome him as he addresses you tonight.
Bravo. Together we stand, hey, building up for everyone. There is hope in unity. Bravo for we country. We voting for us in jail. Everybody we voting.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mama Iflabo Boswe. Mama Micoud South Boswe. Tonight, I will address you in patois because I think it's going to make a greater impact. Moi ici à Oswea pour dou. Kenny Anthony t'es toujours ni cointif Micoud South. Et qui pas jamais aimé Micoud South. Mais actuellement, even pay Micoud South because Alan Chasney can represent Micoud South a lot election. Except pour ça, you can try best yo pour garder si yo ça croiser Alan Chasney. Mais moi hadi yo, depuis moi vivant, Alan Chasney qui toujours triomphe à Micoud South. Yo dit, avant moi n'y anticiper pour dire ça, mais I just buy your hint. Yo dit, yo n'y anticoque. Yo n'y anticoque qui a croisé Alan Chasney. Mais I dis ça about li talent. Moi I dis ça. Talent I dis ça about li. Avant moi dis ça about li, I dis yon débat about ministre éducation. Exa Labour Party a quoi yo archivé à ministre éducation. Et là moi fini, I dis yon débat so because c'est constituency moi ni privilège pour parler plus long parce que tout le monde en soit. So, yo passe à du bout, moi, quand il y a du bout les autres là. Moi, quand il y a du bout là, moi, pas oui. Gouvernement, les bon, quand il do, à de 4 années, à ministre éducation, yo fait 3 bagailles, tout le monde cette ici aimé. Mais moi, quand il y a danger dans 3 bagailles là, ça. Yon, yo dit tout maman secondaire qui passe pour aller en secondary school, yo ka yo $600. Yo do, yo ka buy tout form free students your laptop. Et yo introduce obagay yo ka create partial zoning. Bon, I point, I explain by ça. Mais les bons partis, seul bagay yo ni et yo sa compte à sou, c'est ça moins quitter Adam ministre éducation. Et ça c'est the big programme pour ranger l'école qui a affecté à cette liste. Et puis ICT programme là pour rural primary schools in Saint Lucia. C'est ça yo ça boss about tout seul. C'est ça moins quitter. But I'm got about $600. Maintenant, Oshai Mundi, $6
les bon bay so bon bagay. Maka dit non, oui so bon bagay, si man $600 et que moi $600. Moi bon. Mais on regarde ça. Là UWP a power. Qui ça y a de fait? Maman qui pas capable. Maman pas ça aider. You can buy leave. You can rent leave secondary school for $175 a year. You can buy other mamai in primary and secondary school free textbooks. You can buy mamai uniform et soulier pour rien. But dis-moi, sous de cas joindre ces bagailles ça, et gouvernement tire ces bagailles ça en l'eau, et qui va au $600. Là, mamai form 1 and secondary school, leave your cost over $1,000,000. Qui gagne ça ni en haut? Oui, c'est mouna qui goes on. C'est mouna qui sa afford li. You pas ni a problem. But what about maman et papa qui pas ka travail et pas ka ni income? Est-ce $600 ça acheter livre pour $1,000,000? Est-ce $100 ça bayo transport pour aller l'école? Est-ce $600 ça bayo uniforme et puis soulier? So bagay la te bon, comme on dit, bon pour comprendre. Mais maman et papa qui pas ni income, qui pas ka travail, il plus mauvais pour yo. Because bénéfice la yo de ka joindre through welfare system la, United Workers Party te ka continuer à sortir. On regarde laptop programme là. Laptop programme était bon. Because là moi en ministre éducation, nous devons considérer laptop programme là. Pour bailler chaque maman un laptop. But l'économie a pas de ça, afford ça, so nous mettons ça sur côté. So ça nous fait, nous try mettre des computers dans toute l'école. So toute maman a une expérience servir computer. Nous établissons créer resource centers near primary et near secondary school. Mais regardez qui ça qu'a fait là. C'est maman qui forme free qui a joint laptop là. Mais yo still ni pour acheter tout livre là. Because il n'y a pas ni pièce programme qui développé pour aider yo pour faire subject là without acheter livre là. Right? Il bon. Mais on still ni pour payer pour livre là pour over $1,000,000. Excès maman là qui a été dans rural area. Côté il pas ni Wi-Fi. Côté il pas ni broadband. Yo pas ça servi internet là. So si mieux gouvernement te mette toutes ces bails en place. Develop subject. Yo ça servi en les computers pour étudier. Mettez Wi-Fi tout partout avant il te introduce programme ça. Et que le gouvernement introduce programme ça, qui ça y fait? Premier laptop, cette laptop là il buy, it cost lui over $3 million. Il a acheté from Trinidad. Trinidad for go profit à la ça. Deuxième cette laptop là, yo mandé Venezuela through Alba. Yo joignez. Actuellement, yo ni difficulté, yo ka mandé Taiwanese government la Kenny party vle pièce là. C'est yo ka mandé actuellement pour aider yo pour buy my laptop là. Et là nous le troisième là. Partial zoning là. Ça veut dire, yo voulez mettre maman secondaire pour aller à l'école plus près côté yo ka wite. Qui ça fait? Yo pas calculer ça bien, yo rush li. Et ça fait. Il y maman là yo garder programme. Maman qui te casse yo assign yo pour aller à l'école l'Angers. Yo ni maman qui sort vieux fort à leur valia. Toute qualité d'effort bagay. Bon raison yo fait ça because yo devle couper à sous transportation subsidy moins établi les nou vini à gouvernement. Actuellement yo chay mamay qui pas ka joindre transportation. Yo do souvle transportation. Ou ni pour apply pour l'école là. Et si yo approve li ou ka joindre transportation. Et on chay maman qui pas capable et qui pas capable travailler, il ni toi qui ka l'école. Et c'est ça les bons partis a do yo achieve en ministère de l'éducation. So comment disons tout projet est bon, mais qui moun ka aider et qui moun ka affecté. Moi je veux comprendre ça. Et là moi regarde ça. Les bons partis a sa conscience tellement. Après yo a fait ça et yo quoi bon. Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. You decide, well, nous can raise puis pour maman à l'école. Masav comment zo qui te ni Sir Arthur. So cost là pour ces maman là étudier à Sir Arthur Community College, monter en chai. Le gouvernement en cabinet pour décision avec dit yo pas vle ça. Principal Sir Arthur Lewis Community College dit c'est l'Ikikakoui College là, c'est l'Ikini Chai là. So même si le gouvernement dit il pas accepté, il ka implémenter. Qui ça qui a fait cette liste ici? Qui ça qui a fait cette liste? Nous ni pour garder ces bagages ça. Et garder qui ça qui a fait about United Workers Party. Les prix gas, c'est de 148 US dollars per barrel. L'économie, toute la territoire, nous devons maintain transportation system by my là. Nous devons continuer welfare system by ces mamans là. Et nous devons continuer subsidy by toutes ces mamans là. Gouvernement actuellement qui introduce VAT, pour qui il a tiré à présent. Et bien pour qui il a réduit en lait. Faut excès. Il est pour nous de bout. Quand il est qui sait qu'arriver nous, especially nous ces gens qui pas ni on income, nous pas qu'à travailler. Et dit que assez, c'est assez. C'est assez. Sorti à l'aide de nous et by United Workers Party ushers. Faut que c'est ouais, ça me dit, yo ba moi 5 minutes, bon, moi dit moi constituency, moi yo voulez courir de moi. Avant moi courir, moi yo ba moi dit. Moi constituency, moi, largesse là, c'est ça moi. Moi, je suis dit après. Je suis dit m'a parlé, mais moi, je suis dit. Mettez-moi dit avant moi, aller dans 5 minutes. Ça. Moi, le bon parti a dit, you n'y a pas de qui a voulu monter against Mr. Alan Chastain. Bon. Yo describe li, ils sont S. Bon, ça en S, on S c'est plus gros point à dans pas 4. So depuis ni S là, King passe à gain, Queen passe à gain, rien passe à gain. Mais bah là qui a ça, les bons partis a crié un bluff. C'est mon qui a joué brags là. C'est non qui a joué brags là. Ça c'est un bluff. Et moi crier bluff là. Moi crier Kenny Anthony et puis les Party là. Et nga dit yo ça c'est un bluff. Et nga dit yo qui manière moi ça c'est un bluff. Moi découvert dat petit coq là yo ka voué monter a. Il passe à jamais en S. Où ça y est à da pakat là? He's a joker of the park. Et vous savez, joker pas gagner. So moi je voulais voir en commission by Kenny Anthony et puis joker ça. Et puis Philippe J. Pierre qui dit Alain Chaste parce que Pierre cite. Moi je voulais dire victoire ça qui a venu. Il a baillé mal tête. Juste yo tout vin fou. And as I said, on my watch, c'est pas un monde, monsieur Allen pas jamais dit moi aller. Moi qui dis, il a aller. Moi qui dis, Mr. Allen vini ici à supporter. Pas tant toute bêtise yo dit yo, si mais toute bagaille dit pour garder si yo kay croiser, il ba moi l'argent, il ba moi ça. M'a brisé l'argent. Moi son homme. Moi ni dignité. Moi ni dignité encore moi. Ma moi levé moi. Ek ma moi mort. I am a blessed son. So ma brisé sympathy moun ek bêtise yo ka dit. And I am going to say in this coming election, Labour Party is going to feel the wrath of the people of Micoud South. And I'll tell you why. They have done nothing for Micoud South. You heard on radio there is a program for repair of roads and potholding. All the roads are in the Labour constituency. There is so Blusher support Labour for a while. Look at the Blusher road. I don't have one person from Blusher beating the ugly mouse. And when you look at the London Road, for years, over 4 years, they have never touched these areas. And you tell me, in Micoud South, you still have people supporting Labour? The hypocrites. And all of them who are the hypocrites are going to bow down this year. And as I said, as I leave the podium, because as I said, they cut me off, I have a lot to say. This year, with the team of Alan Shaste and myself, and I am going to tell you, he didn't ask, I offered. The people and the delegates of Micoud South accepted. And I'm telling you, tonight, together, this December, we are going to host the children's party in a bigger way. And those persons who want to think that I was paid with the foolishness that Labour is saying, tell Labour, their little cock, their candidate is nothing but a joker. Thank you very much.
Rise the rhythm, sing the anthem. Rise the rhythm, rise the rhythm.
Seeing this? St. Lucia, the only Caribbean country on the top 10 list of countries in the world with the slowest economy, reported by the World Bank and CIA Fact Book. Do you know which countries are there with St. Lucia? Venezuela, Yemen, Russia, Libya. All these countries have failed economies, low levels of democracy, and high levels of corruption. While some may argue that the figures are a projection, need we remind you of the CDB's 2014 report, which stated that St. Lucia's economy contracted in 2014 for the third consecutive year since Kenny Anthony took office in 2011. But wait, did Kenny Anthony say that the World Bank, CIA Fact Book, and CDB provided false figures? These reputable organizations? Do you really need them to tell you how hard things are in this country? Did you really need the World Bank to tell you that Kenny Anthony cannot grow our economy? No. Who feels it, knows it. Kennynomics. He just doesn't have a clue.
When you feel like dying, who feels it now?
Happy to see the number of people who are out here in Micoud South. But before I proceed, I would like to, on behalf of the constituency of Castries Southeast, congratulate the 3 new candidates of the United Workers' Party in the persons of Dr. Ulrich Mondesi, Viewfort South, Mr. Herod Stanislas, Soufre Fosse-Jacques, and Mr. Peterson Francis of Castries Central. Now let me tell you something. For those of you who thought that certain people used to control Castries Central, you know there is a new man in charge of Castries Central from tonight. There is a new man in charge in the person of Mr. Peterson Francis. So moun sa fait des ordres sur radio, yo sa fait des ordres sur TV, mais yo pas sa candidate United Workers' Party at Castries Central. Now, we are here for business tonight. I heard Labour parties somewhere in the south. I heard them backpedaling from what they said initially. Premier Payod yo ka announce 16 candidates. Mwetan yo ka di abwezan, well yo pa siwe annonce tout moun. Now let me tell you. It really does not matter to me whether Labour Party name candidates or not. What difference does it make? Est-ce qu'il a fait différence? Si on tire Robert et yo me hile, il a fait différence. Now you know, one of the problems with the St. Lucia Labour Party is that they like to make accusations. But they accuse you based on what they do themselves. So you heard they talking about Alan paying Asen to be the candidate for Micoud South. I heard there's somebody in the Labour Party who has been paid 3 times. He was paid once to come in and be the candidate. He was paid while he was candidate, and I heard he's being paid to leave being the candidate. Now, Bandio, Flabo pa operate koha. And when they want to talk about people of integrity, if they want to know about integrity, tell them look on the platform of the United Workers' Party. People don't pay us to come into politics. We come into politics because we have the interest of the people of St. Lucia at heart. Let me tell you something. This is serious business. This is our future and this is our life that we are talking about. Now that's why I tell you, I don't care who is the Labour Party candidate. Once they belong to the Labour Party, they are wrong. You cannot be wrong and right at the same time. It's either you're wrong or you're right. And once you're on the Labour Party ticket, you are wrong. So, whoever they name, that's their problem. I heard they're sending a candidate up against me. I expect Labour to send a candidate. But it really doesn't matter who the Labour Party candidate is, because it is the policies of the St. Lucia Labour Party that is affecting the people of St. Lucia. So, I had yo savoué moun yo vle, man problem ek sa. They can say what they want, they can send who they want. When they name the candidate and they send them to me, I will deal with them accordingly. But I want to sound the alarm for Dr. Kenny Anthony tonight. You should have done an audit on the candidate you are considering for Castries Southeast. And you didn't do an audit, but I will do an audit for you. And I will supply the information to the people of St. Lucia about the proposed candidate for Castries Southeast. I heard they endorse him today. Well, Labour Party will have to de-endorse him before the next election. Because the books on him are thicker than the books we have in the Parliament of St. Lucia. And I tell them, I've told them, yo ka pale ek yo pan evidence. Me le mwen pale mwen evidence. And I'm coming with my evidence. And if they are so concerned about honesty and integrity, they would know who to send up for elections. Now, tonight, we are reviewing the 4 years of Labour Party in office. Now, yodi mwen lana misye ki sot boy si anoise Alexis Samuel. Moe noy la pou fan choshime jisa kako babono. So Ezekiel, ou pan pièson babono ki sa fe anti choshime. Alvina pasa di anye pou se kontrakta babono a. Yon pou pran kontrakta jis de wiso. Anje pour mener moute kako pour vin fan ti choshime. Ek yo di mwen même contracteur fan pon ba la tombe. You know, the Labour Party continues to disrespect the people of St. Lucia. Kenny Anthony really has no regard for us in St. Lucia. But tonight, I want to take 5 minutes to focus on something I believe that is very important. Something that I have not paid much attention to on the platform. I heard in one of the statements made at the meeting on the market steps that Alan Chasney is surrounded by a lot of spirits. I want you to understand what is at play tonight. You know, I'm a Bible man. I believe in the word of God. And when the word says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I want the persons who are on the platform, on the market step a week ago, to tell me what spirits are surrounding Mr. Alan Shasney. And who sent them. But I want them to know that there is a power that is greater than every power and every demonic force in this world. And the Christians in this country, I am appealing to your good conscience. Those of you who know better, those of you who pray, and I don't care what church you belong to. This is not about religion. This is about prayer. And once you seek God in prayer, God will hear your prayer. No Christian in this country can put an X for the Labour Party. You can ask your priest, you can ask your pastor, you can ask your leader. These people in the Labour Party are dabbling in evil. You can deal a l'esprit. And they want to destroy the United Workers' Party through the works of evil. But I have news for them. I have news for them. The praying people of St. Lucia are more powerful than all the demons that hell can release. And everywhere I pass in St. Lucia, I am told that we are praying for you. Well, if you are praying for us twice a day, we want you to pray for us 6 times a day. Nous pas go pièce chez boîte. Nous pas faire pièce zézé. Nous ka prédier et nous obliger gagner élection ça. And so, I want you to understand what we are up against tonight. I want you to understand. You heard it from Leon in the boulevard some time ago. They have spread seeds of discord. And they have released spirits of division. But now, the unity is back in the United Workers' Party. Now, any Christian person knows that 9 out of 10 times when you cast out an evil spirit, it goes back to its origin. I'm a nepot pastor, ek nepot puet. If they cannot bind the spirit and cast it into the sea, when they cast it out, the spirit returns from where it came from. Now it appears to me the spirit has returned where it came from. You heard them? You heard Damien? You heard Timothy Mangal? And somebody told me from the Labour Party, if you see they attack me, that somebody from the Labour Party on the platform, is then they will have things coming out. So let's priavie koite sortia, sauhen chebe. So tonight, I want you to understand, I am not taking this fight lightly. I know the Labour Party will do anything to shut me up. They will do anything to keep me quiet. They will do anything to destroy Alan Chasney. So I'm not surprised that they surround him with spirits. But the spirits are power say for. You know, my last piece on this tonight. When Babylon ruled the world many years ago, in about 538 BC, that's before Christ. When Babylon ruled the world, there was a king by the name of Nebuchadnezzar, and he was succeeded by his son Belshazzar. Belshazzar became king, and he disobeyed God. And he went and he took the sacred vessels from the temple, which was stored in the war chest of Nebuchadnezzar after he had invaded Jerusalem. And then he was having a feast with 1,000 of his lords. And he went and he took the sacred vessels from the temple and he started drinking wine with his concubines and with his leaders. And then in the middle of what was happening, a finger appeared and started writing on the wall. Just a finger and a hand. They saw no person. And what was written there was, Mini mini tikel, you fasten. That is in the Hebrew or in the Chaldean language or the Babylonian language. And it meant, the mini mini tikel meant, your days have been numbered. You have been weighed in the balance and you have been found wanting. Now I want to tell the Labour Party tonight, your days have been numbered. You have been weighed in the balance and you are found wanting. Pesla pa egal. You promised better days, but you delivered bitter days. You promised jobs, jobs, jobs. If you put Labour Party on one side of the scale and you put jobs, jobs, jobs in the other side of the scale, will it balance? Cannot balance. You promised us you would grow the economy. Were you able to grow the economy? What we have is decline, decline, decline. So the Labour Party knows that God is the one who sets up governments and God is the one who removes governments. So yo savsa yo po metla yo pa fey, so yo pasa ache bon Dieu pou chen yo an gouvernement, so yo vle he di de mou pa lache pou chen yo an gouvernement. But I've told them, the people of the United Workers' Party know what they stand for. And I know you are praying people, and I want you to continue to pray for your leader. Where tout se l'esprit a yo di yo me oli woin la, nou ka fè sa disparaître. We are making that disappear. Because you know what? When you pray and you believe, what you ask God for, He will give you. So pa fetche bra ban nou, just pray die ban nou. That is what will set us apart and make us different from the St. Lucia Labour Party. They can bring all who they want. Now, yo di lana nom yo konet ki kontan St. Lucia chay. No, he said Juvali. Juvali. You know, there's something about value under St. Lucia Labour Party. Is either it is true value or it is true value. Now, what is the true value of true value? Now, Tansa, here's the solution that Dr. Kenny Anthony offers to the people of St. Lucia. Here's the solution that they're offering. They're going to build a research lab for diabetes. You know what a man in my constituency said to me? He said to me, tell Juvali, if he want to help people with diabetes in St. Lucia, come and build a restaurant and try and show people how to eat properly. All the research on diabetes has been done. We don't need more information about diabetes. The information is readily available. So tell Kenny Anthony, because he was caught with his pants down, again, the first briefcase they said was forgotten in a toilet. So I expect pants to be down in a toilet. His pants was down on this issue of the briefcase again. And so he said, well, Mr. Chasney does not want a millionaire or a billionaire to come to St. Lucia. Now let me ask Kenny Anthony a question. Saukwe, kuyon kwe nu kuyon ko ha St. Lucie? A man has so many billions of dollars. He only came with one briefcase. One briefcase. A briefcase you can. Ekipate même ni moun kachay. Si te vine ka mal, ebe ka biwo. Ebe de to a go grip. Ou sav lota. Laissez moun nan te ka sort l'Angleterre. Yo ka vine ka go mal. Ou sav sa nga parle about la. Abay kat nom ni pou chaye. If the man have so many billions and he come into St. Lucia to do something, vine ka mal. Vine ka mal ki play. You come in with a little briefcase that any little boy walking around and you saying you come and do things for St. Lucia. Now I want to know who got the money from that briefcase. If you want to speak the truth, tell us who got the money from the briefcase. I want to know whether you sold that passport and whether that was payment. And whether that payment went to the people who getting paid 3 times in politics. Because you know what? I know the Labour Party wants to get nasty in this election. But I want them to know the advantage that the United Workers' Party has in this election is that we have truth on our side. Nupan Pumati. Nupan Putie Team. We have a proven track record of the better performance than Labour Party in 5 years in government. Now, uwe belti shime sa uni dewi so, yodi shime ante top share. $10 million we spent on the road. They said that was so much money. Botansa. Yomba mizia shime. Now usav lauka miziwe shime. Uka miziwe shime pa liye ebe pa kilometer. Kilometers or miles is the measurement we use. Yokaifa shime usav pa ki hayo miziwe meters. Now you know what's a meter? A meter is 49 inches. 3 feet, 3 inches. Or it is a yard and 3 inches. Yo miziwe shimea Isamseka rula yo misiwe shime. Isamseka rula. Boyo misiwe shime tan kimizi yohen. Yodi yohen. Now madu story usaf. Lenga di bay mwen papier mwen pou backup saradia. Yo misiwe shime ek yodi 2,900 meters. Now you know 2,900 meters is 2.9 kilometers. That's just about 2 miles of road. Now the 2 miles of road, tan komela haivini, $8.5 million. Now that's not the best part of it. You see, we gave you Sanukakuye Baba Green. Usav, Shimesa, nous pas bayan ti tak goudon ek tak washan lay. Nous bien pave ça, and we gave it a carpet surface. Mr. James, est-ce pas un carpet nous ni ala Shimela? That's right. A carpet surface with asphalt. Yo kaifa Shime chip and spray. Now usav sa ki chip and spray, truck goudon passe la jet ak goudon, ek a truck passe drive there, ek a pil wash ek ilaje wash alay. That is the cheapest form of road construction. $8.5 million pour délier. Mwen vle mande Philip J. Pierre, which road is the most expensive road in St. Lucia today? Because you see, that is what the Labour Party do to try and fool the people of St. Lucia. Chaque point yo fait pour yak a double. Outan ça? Yo bila pon bois d'orange, pas bois d'orange, bonte. $5.5 million. Yo kite bonte, yo desan bois d'orange, yo bila point, a bridge, 11 million. 5.5 and 5.5 is what? 11. Abwezan yo di yo ka desan do Shoki Highway 22. So chaque pont. So when the lot pont le bakay faire, c'est $44 million. You understand what is happening? Now anybody tell me, there's a bridge in Bois d'Orange that is worth $11 million. Now think of it. Ou ha passe Denry à le highway. Gade pont qui fait Denry là. $4.5 million. Vous savez qui laisse pont à parler about là? Pont Gouavière. Alva, the Alva Bridge. The Alva Bridge. Now, Madeko est pont qui au choc là, pas au choc. Pont qui Bois d'Orange là. Est-ce qu'il y a deux ponts ça en dedans? Exoute me deux ponts en bas, qui a still vini 9 million. Ça Bois d'Orange là vini 11 million. So dis-moi, côté l'estan l'argent aller. When the Labour Party, when they send the candidate here and they want to tell you about Bobol, tell them we have the answers. So long I ask in the Labour Party to have a discussion. Now, about the airport. You can tell a story about airport la. We have the airport development plan. And I challenge them to a debate on the new proposal for HIA. Ou sav sa yo fe? Airport nef la nou te ka bati, ba gouvernement flabo, te ka create 900 job nef vie for ek environs. Sa min Micoud ek Denry te ka benefis. A brezan yo vle men a company nef pou bil airport. Now bandou sa, le nou te ka bati airport la, l'argent pa te ka ale a la me contractor. L'argent te ka ale a da sanoukuye a lockbox. You know what's a lockbox? Kote l'argent ale a, pièson pa sa tiye la, pase slaspa yon qui te satiye la. Excel ou zo slaspa te satiye. C'est pour payer contracteur, pour faire travail là. So the international agency that we call IATA was the one collecting the money. The money would be there, and every year, if we had to pay 5 million for the airport, they would take the 5 million and the balance would remain there. Based on the $35 tax, at the end of the time when we would have finished paying the airport, SLASPA would have in excess of $200 million at its disposal to build a new airport if they wanted, to build a new runway and do anything they wanted. You know in the new arrangement what is going to happen? Après of le VM $45 la pour buy company nef la. Yo aussi vle pour $25 that SLASPA ka hen abweza pour add le 45 la. So instead of them getting 45, they will get $60 on each passenger that comes to St. Lucia. You know what that means? In 5 years, they would have finished paying the airport, but they would be drawing this money for 30 years. So, Madeko, Lord Vince Clandea, Sayo Cafe, Excellation, sir. Now tell me something. Is that a government that is for the people of St. Lucia? Now, Mr. Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party has already informed the government of St. Lucia and the IFC from the World Bank that we want an exit clause in this contract. And we are telling whichever contractor who goes into this contractual arrangement, when the United Workers' Party gets into office, when the next election is called, you are going to have problems with us because nous pas qu'à quitter aller et toute l'argent ça from cette liste. Ça passe à fait à bas gouvernement partisan flabo. So we are putting you on notice. Fais affaire ou bien. Pas en tuer et point jab en sac because ou kay ni problem. My closing point tonight. Vehicle license. Ek mwen vle se fama de wiso atan mwen. Ou te ka paye 150 pou ti vanouan. Le ou te ale paye licence machino. Now eslan pieson isi oswea ki ha paye licence machine yo depi pou ya change. From 150 kome ou paye? $450. That is an increase of $300. That is an increase of 200%. Now, Bandousa. Les partisans flambants via toi gouvernement, nous cavions mener descendre pour 150. So fama ou pas qu'à payer $350 encore, ou qu'à payer 150. Tell the Labour Party they have squeezed you for long enough. So you, the people of St. Lucia, you have to understand that this is a party that has your best interest at heart. Now, moi sav Monsieur James dit na shaiba ay pou di. Moi savite vle parler about situation de l'eau en Dewiso. Yo ka fe ou paye pou Claire Rosodam la. Ou ka hand l'eau from Rosodam ici ya. Est-ce que Dewiso ka hand l'eau from Rosodam? Mécanique a fait ou payer de l'eau. Il a fait ou payer pour nettoyer Rosodam. Mais ça dit about ces gens l'autre pays. Nous pouvons mettre un bloc en terre. Liet still nous ka charge moun ka sort l'autre pays pour bill l'airport là. Dès l'année ou ka payer pour nettoyer dam la plexil même manière. Moe person demonstrate. Mais moi dio si on mène c'est German pour venir tuer dame là. Les lancet lycéens qui sa fait job là. Nous kabawe chimère from depuis millet. Depuis un gap kaikoa pour y faire tête millet bon dame là. Personne pas sort l'autre pays et venir tuer dame ça. Nous n'a say equipment extra. So tonight you have a party who will stand to defend you. I have a lot more to say. Mr. Shasne and Mr. James, organize a special meeting for me in Deriso and let me alone speak for the whole night. When I say commission pour Baïjan Deriso. Now, I cannot leave if I don't tell you. Deriso, Micoud South is choosing the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and that is the man, Alan Shasne. Good night and God bless you.
What is the best word to describe Kenny Anthony's economic policies? Kennynomics. 66% increase in water bill. Kennynomics. 15% VAT. Kennynomics. Greenberg. Kennynomics. Rochamel. Kennynomics. Increase in night bill. Kennynomics. More tax and no increase in salaries. Kennynomics. 49% youth unemployment. Kennynomics. 25.9% unemployment. Kennynomics. Reduction in school subsidy program. Kennynomics. $11.2 million bridge. Kennynomics. Removal of subsidy on rice, flour, and sugar. Kennynomics. Increased tax on vehicle licenses. Kennynomics. Under Kennynomics, it's just not getting better. Say no to Kennynomics.
My support. Moi passe là après-midi à Esprit. Moi passe là samedi. N'a passé là la semaine ma ouan ka fait là. Mais yo dit la kay ouvert 2017. Nous ka espérer toujours. But St. Lucia Labour Party halas kiene moun. Yo halas 20 ki? 2016 yo di? Ou sure pas 2017, pas 2018? I can guarantee you say United Workers Party ki ka ouvert St. Jude's Hospital. Nou ki ka ouvert ba ou. Nou ki ka ouvert l'hôpital sa ba ou. Under the United Workers Party. We now have another lady, a mapipi femme, qui a venu ici au soir. Les femmes ça a douboute qui parlent, mahalas disons ça. Ça c'est un madame qui a douboute, deputy political leader parti encore. Yo pas ça pour faire pi. Yo haché. Yo haché madame yo ka kuye Janine Compton. Yo di pe Janine, nou pa hafa ye gel encore, fin kouye encore. Janine di no problem. Mama iflabo ou eti kwa Janine kaipo. Oh Lord have mercy on my soul. Bon, a madame ye, ek moi même ka feel sorry bali. Mais gel, monsieur, nou kay foute Janine ti kwai. Ek ou sav sa mwen le yo fe encore. Maintenant l'autre madame encore. Yo te Nikiles ki mono yo kwa. Ostino, ebe, mahab kino sa kay lostino. Mais nous ka foute yo ti kwa tellement Micoud Nord. Dio vini, la ni femme, ek la ni famo, ek femme sala ki du boutisia. Honorable Dr. Gail Sisi Rigobert, c'est li ki kay du bout a Micoud Nord, and she will lead us into victory with our political leader, Mr. Alan Shasne. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you welcome to the podium, Dr. Gail Rigobert.
Mamai Flabo. Mamai Micoud South. Mamai Dewi Sobla Shala Kuvinti Oshediga. I bring all of you greetings from Micoud North. Yodi mwelani o meeting kapwe kuabala. Lani munki en rouge. Mais c'est pour yo vini Dewi so soya pour misi moun ki isit la. I heard this evening the Labour Party declared that the war is on. Well, I want to say to them, if tonight they declare that the war is on, I stand confidently and say the victory is had. I have observed rather curiously that over the last 2 to 3 weeks, we have a party in government, the Labour Party, that is asking you to give them another chance, and they're beginning to apologize for the sins of the past 4 years. Well, I want you to ask the Labour Party, what is it that they are apologizing for? And to be very explicit in what it is they're asking you to forgive them for. Isama mun kadu buta suaya. Munati epio suaya suple. Is you alright, actuellement? On les bails qui viennent coûter sa cafette là qui doit buta suaya. But tell them they are welcome. They are welcome because St. Lucia is going to be decisive at the next election to re-elect the United Workers' Party. Because tonight I heard the Prime Minister say that those people who have lost their jobs are not nameless and faceless to him. Who are not kidding? Ou vle di mwen kon sa 4 l'année ou a pouvoir. Jodi a yon ou vle pren apologie. Pis la di mizi moun ki jabet travay yo ek yo te di pou ferme business yo. Tell him it is too late to come to the people of St. Lucia to apologize for his mismanagement and the destruction he has wrought on the people of this country. Itwota. And I want to forewarn you that the Labour Party will come before you at the last minute and promise all kinds of things. But you are to say to the Labour Party, what have you done in the last 4 years? It is too late. We have made up our minds. We are going with the United Workers' Party. No longer can political parties get away with sleeping in government for 4 years, and in the 5th year, they want to come and fool you with projects and potholing. Pas jodi mweni misi tout la protect mon po, actuellement ou vle commencer potholing, et que poko même rive pour aller ou en constituency les bas toujours. We are taxpayers in Micoud North and Micoud South. We are also citizens of St. Lucia. It is not because we prefer the political party that has delivered century after century, decades this century. Pas Jordi nous là. Decade after, but we will be there for centuries because this party stands on a solid foundation of men and women who are committed to the development of this country. Sa pa nan mek femme ki la pou de poche yo, be 4 poche ek poche madame yo, ek garçon yo, ek fiyo tout cela. This is a party that has proven every time it is in power that it delivers to the people of St. Lucia. So I want to ask the Prime Minister this evening whether his conscience was too heavy tonight that he felt it necessary to single out Micoud. And I want to send him a strong message that whatever work has taken place in Micoud over the past 4 years, it is because of the of the woman who represents them, knowing full well that they are citizens of St. Lucia and they are deserving. We're not special. Don't try and make it sound like you're being so special to us. We are entitled. And you want to call the things you have done. Let us begin the conversation on the things you have failed to do. Because that's a much longer list. That is a much longer list. And for too long, the Labour Party has made it a practice to neglect Micoud North and Micoud South when in government. And that is why I'm saying to you, when you go to the polls this time, make no error, and you need to decisively, comprehensively, and convincingly re-elect the United Workers' Party. Because he's to apologize not only to the men and women he says are not nameless and faceless. There are single mothers too who are not nameless and faceless. There are young people in St. Lucia, 50% of whom would love to have a job. They have a name and a face too. There are small contractors who would love to get their hands on a contract in this country. They are not nameless and faceless. Has he only just discovered that they have names and faces too? He has only just begun to apologize. Because pour pécher, j'ai fait ces 4 l'année, c'est pour nous faire payer pour lui, mais nous allons mettre tico à nous by flabo. You know, one of the things I find very interesting is that the Labour Party shrouds its mismanagement in all kinds of trickery and chicanery. In other words, yo savent yo pas garder livre rien by ces peuples là. So toujours c'est en manchons yo ka di ou. It is time that we ask the Labour Party to show slate. You know they had the guts today to claim that they have delivered. Oh yes, you have delivered. You have delivered 3 years of negative economic growth. You have delivered 25% of unemployment. You have delivered 50% of youth unemployment. You have failed, you have failed, you have failed. And you have failed the people of the South in particular. I am sure St. Jude's Hospital was not on their lips. I am sure that 900 people who would have been employed had we gone ahead with the airport in Viewfort, they did not mention them today. I am sure they did not mention the many farmers who have been impoverished under Labour. I am sure they did not mention the men and women who own the small boutiques on the main street in Viewfort who have had to close shop. Did you mention those? You need to apologize not only for the sins of the past 4 years, but the sins of your 15 years as Prime Minister in this country. Because the children who now find themselves unemployed were first born under your watch. So I say to you, Flabo people, do not waste your time commenting on the sideshow. Do not waste your time becoming embroiled in a distraction. That you know you have a government in power that has brought shame into the eyes of St. Lucians, because what we have seen is one scandal after another without explanation, without transparency, without accountability. So whether it is Lambert's without explanation, without accountability, they promised to set up a committee to review the Lambert's affair, but the committee will come from within, so they will examine, interrogate themselves. Ou je m'étonne ça? What member will confess by Koyo? Baby shop. You cannot be investigating yourself when you are the very ones who have found wanting. So, that's any Lamberts. Ek yo pas satisfait. Yo croyez que kay sa fait se moun na paix. They were looking to intimidate the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. But I say to the Labour Party that when we take up a commitment to serve this country, we do it with every fiber in our being, and no professional grouping will be intimidated by the St. Lucia Labour Party. Then, Tapu Lambert passe, nous tan l'agnon l'autre emu. Then après ça, nous tan yon de Cuban Vincent Lissi au trape koyo US Virgin Island, mande yo ki sa ki fet, le ba pa konet. Ek sa bate ase. Nou ni on Juvali. Ek pièce moun pasa bay, Jean Set Lissi, explanation Juvali. Bon bagala bien sep. Si ou apprêté un homme pour faire un particulier travail ba ou, il suppose yon, ça fait travail là. Et dès c'est pour aller un travail là. So pas ça dit mais ou apprêté un monde pour faire représentation ba ou in the International Maritime Organization et qui peut attendre yon meeting. Et qu'on a dit mais ça pas nécessaire. Alors, so apprêtement est pas nécessaire then. 27 meetings. Et qui peut attendre yon. One man, moi katan, gouvernement cette lycée vle, cette lycée quoi qui, ça pas à faire gouvernement cette lycée et ça pas à faire pep cette lycée. Mais one man c'est non cette lycée qui est attaché. So c'est affaires nous, depuis c'est non cette lycée qui est attrapé qu'on est attaché. Ces affaires pep cette lycée. So I'm asking you to call on the Labour Party to account for its stewardship and to explain to the people of St. Lucia why is it St. Lucia has had to go through scandal after scandal under the watch of the St. Lucia Labour Party. But I'm so happy we're meeting here today, Alan. Because I'm not sure that the people of Micoud South yet understand the responsibility that they have. The people of Micoud South have in the past voted for men who have given them great representation. But on this occasion, you will be required to very decisively elect the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And the Labour Party said today again that the Alan Shaste and his gang, and Alan Shaste in particular, they want us to believe is only about himself and his family. Well, I want every Flabo supporter here to say to the Labour Party, the next election is about every St. Lucian and every affiliate of every St. Lucian, and not just about Alan Shaste and his family. And we need to send that message very strongly, that what they are trying to do is to unweave the United Workers' Party and to set us one against the other. But I say to them, moi ten Premier Ministre l'a dit, il a créé élection. On your marks, get set, il vient encore. On your marks, get set, moi la ka koute. Moi dis some computer, moi puis. On your marks, get set, sinom di go. Sinom di go. Because they know we are ready. We are ready because we are feeling the pinch. You know the difficulties that you have sending your children to school. You know the difficulties you have paying the increased utility bills. You know the difficulties you have putting food on your table. You know the difficulty you have just truck no truck ka ale kasri di men ko ha mun pa ka be ale kasri oko. Mun pa même ni pasai pour aller castrer. And that is under a Labour Party government. So I want the people of Micoud South to understand the importance of their role in the forthcoming election. And you know, they will always go for the head first. You can't put that like, you can't even put des épaules là. Mais yo suppose savent moi qui c'est qui a se mettre koyo. because the head is as strong as the shoulders. So I want you, the people of United Workers' Party, do not be distracted. Focus on what we are doing as a party. Focus on what you are required to do at the constituency level. Focus on bringing the voters to the polls and ensuring that they vote for the United Workers' Party. Because we have a plan and we have a vision for this country. We know we have to begin by restoring what labor has broken. But we are prepared to put our muscle to the wheel and to do that. But we can only do that if you give us that honor to serve you. Because you and I know that we cannot take any more of labor. Labor has put enough suffering in this country and enough impoverishment. So Mama Flabo, Martin, yo pay. As yo pay, yo pay. Bokisa yo pay. Yo pay. Kimon yo pay. Mama Flabo. I want to thank all of you for coming out this evening. I want, when you go back to your constituency, remember that the Labour Party has given us the signal. Let us not pretend we do not know that the season is on. Do what is required of you. Forget the petty quarrels and stay focused on the mission and on the vision of this party, so together we can resuscitate our dying country. Because if we leave it to labor any longer, nous tout kaifin more about labor. Merci appeal.
So don't you underestimate strength of a woman, strength of a woman.
Mama Flabo, you have...
It started like this.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy to finance job creation activities throughout the length and breadth of this island.
But ended like this.
The economy has undergone tremendous stress.
One of the worst economic records in the region. Between 2012 and 2014, St. Lucia lost over 4,000 jobs. Unemployment rate has gone up to almost 26%. He implemented VAT at 15%. Under his policies, St. Lucia's ease of doing business rating fell from number 53 in 2011 to 100 in 2014. In 2 years, Kenny Anthony borrowed more than half the total monies that the United Workers' Party borrowed in their entire 5-year stint and left the country with $383 million deeper in debt. So now, when Kenny Anthony talks about what he will do for the unemployed,
This government will continue to ease the burden of those who are unemployed.
remember, we've heard it all before.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy.
Kennynomics. It didn't work before, and it certainly won't work now.
In 2008, a worldwide economic meltdown.
An economic crisis that we haven't seen since the Great Depression, spreading across the globe.
Oil prices climbed to an all-time high. America's economy, Europe, and the Caribbean could not escape. But one country in the OECS, one island, recorded growth during a time when all other economies in the region recorded a decline. Some said the United Workers' Party government was not equipped to handle the economy, but it did, and did it better than any other country in the OECS. Hurricane Thomas came, the worst storm in St. Lucia's history, and the government pulled the country through successfully. Today, there is no economic meltdown, no Hurricane Thomas, no oil crisis, and yet the current SLP government cannot record growth in the economy. Yet still, jobs and more jobs are being lost while families are struggling to survive. Their solution? A 5% cut in public servants' salary. Businesses continue to close down, young people cannot find employment, and the roads are in the worst conditions ever. Fair Helen of the West is slowly dying, but we are not dead yet, and we're coming back. Because St. Lucia's greatness comes from hard-working citizens. And we believe in you. Because you don't quit. And neither will the United Workers' Party. Change is coming.
Mamai Micoud South. Esu Pawe. Mamai Flabo. It is great to be here tonight with all of you. The United Workers' Party and the team of people you see here, we are ready. Tonight, we brought 3 more candidates to the United Workers' Party team. Men that can deliver. Men that can represent the constituency branches. And men that are prepared to take St. Lucia out of the poverty that we now are suffering under. I am conflicted tonight as to what to tell you. Because part of me wants to talk about what United Workers' Party is going to do. Because I know when I walk around St. Lucia, so many of you come up and tell me, Mr. Shasney, my Tikwa is yours. I'm ready to put labor behind me. I know many of you have reached that position already. So I want to move on and talk about what we're going to do for our culture. Talk about what we're going to do for the infrastructure of this country. Talk about what we're going to do to make sure that every St. Lucian has access to health care. To make sure that the education that our young people are getting are not just to compete here in St. Lucia, but you can compete anywhere in the world. I want to talk about what we're going to do for tourism. I want to talk about what we're going to do to put more money in your pockets. And we have all the plans to do those things. And we are determined to do those things. We're not thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about our brethren in St. Lucia. But before I can talk in detail about those things, there's something important that we have to discuss. It is very clear to see that the blueprint that the Labour Party had was not for growth. It was a blueprint for failure. And all of us are feeling it. All the people who invested their sweat equity, invested all the money that they had from their parents and their friends to open up their own businesses, who have now had to close those businesses and send the people home. People who have been struggling to be able to own a house and have had to put on their suit and go down to the bank and give the bank the key to the house and say, I cannot pay the mortgage anymore. The people who don't have the money to send their family to hospital. The farmers who used to have a little glimmer of hope and would go and work on the farm
in thinking that they could sell what they were producing and make a little money for their family. Not even that hope have they left with the farmers of this country. No farmer can believe for 1 minute that this government is going to be behind them. All we have seen is failure, failure, and failure. But Mamai Flabo, people of St. Lucia, we do not have time to wait for this government for another year. I listened to Ezekiel and I agree with him. The only thing that we can leave with tonight and make us happy is that this will be the last Christmas of a Labour government in St. Lucia. This will be the last Christmas that we have to hear the lies of Kenny Anthony, and for him to tell us and insult us, to tell us how much he loves the people of this country. That is what we can leave here with tonight. But we have a bigger problem, because the selfishness of the people in Labour Party, particularly the boys who got the jobs, their selfishness is destroying the future of this country. And it is going to take a miracle to solve the problems that we have ahead of us. But the biggest problem that they're creating is the security of this country. And they are taking away from us the ability to leave this country. Because very soon, not even England will give us a visa to come to England. The citizens of St. Lucia, this Jufali affair is no laughing matter. And we've made a lot of jokes tonight about Mr. Jufali. But it's not a joke. We know that if the Labour Party had something that was good for St. Lucians, we would not have to read about it in the Telegraph newspaper. We know that if Mr. Jufali was going to give something to St. Lucia, he would have given it already. And the Labour Party would have been there to brag about what he gave. But the only people who have given to Jufali is St. Lucians. And what did we give him? We gave him immunity to protect the millions of dollars that he has in England. So the question we must ask ourselves tonight: who got what? What is the true value in Jufali? Because for the Prime Minister of this country to put the reputation of St. Lucia and drag it through the mud that he is doing, somebody had to get paid some money. I'm not saying who, I'm asking the question, who got paid? And do we know whether the bands that were playing tonight in Viewfort, whether in fact that was the Jufali's money? Do we know whether in fact the campaign that the Labour Party is going to run in the next election, every billboard that you see going up, every ad that you see, you have to ask yourself, is that what St. Lucia gave up in order to protect Mr. Jufali? But here's the bigger situation. The person that was involved in the appointment of Mr. Jufali was Ernest Hilaire. And Mr. Hilaire was the person that advised the Prime Minister to appoint Mr. Jufali as the ambassador. When Mr. Jufali was appointed, Mr. Hilaire was still the High Commissioner. And for 27 meetings, Mr. Jufali did not attend. And his boss, Mr. Hilaire, said nothing. He remained quiet. When Mr. Hilaire now has left, where has he gone? He has now become the chairman of the Citizenship by Investment program. He is going to be the man running the program to sell St. Lucian's passports. If we cannot trust Mr. Hilaire's judgment, and we know that he's a bad manager, and we believe that somebody got paid somewhere, that his integrity is in question, the last place that you would want to put Mr. Hilaire is to sell the passports of St. Lucia. Mr. Hilaire has also announced that he is intending to run in the next election. Mr. Hilaire was on the show on Thursday saying what? That he's been a member of the Labour Party for a long time, that he's been a strategist. How can you take a person who is so strongly affiliated to the Labour Party, whose judgment we have to question, whose integrity we have to question, and allow him to be the chairman of the Citizenship by Investment program? But here's the best story. We do not accuse Mr. Hilaire of being anti-St. Lucian. The person that we accuse of being anti-St. Lucian is Alan Chasney, because I have said that Mr. Hilaire must resign as the chairman of the Citizenship by Investment program. We want the government to reconstitute the board. It cannot be that cabinet is going to appoint all the people on that board. That cannot be. The commission must be independent and autonomous, away from government. And I am calling on the Chamber of Commerce. I'm calling on the Bar Association. I'm calling on the Hotels Association. I'm calling on the churches of St. Lucia to join the United Workers' Party and to demand that this government put Hilaire on the outside and reconstitute the board. And if we are going to sell the passports of this country, the money has to go to the people of this country and not to the Labour government. We will not stand aside and watch that happen. You cannot accuse the United Workers' Party of being anti-St. Lucian when you have done so much to destroy everything in St. Lucia. The only person that suit fits is Dr. Kenny Anthony. He has put St. Lucia into the poverty that we are. Of $2.8 billion of debt, Kenny Anthony is personally responsible for $2 billion. The mess that he has found is his own mess and nobody else's. Sir John Compton is gone. We all loved him. We all respected him. The men and women on this stage are committed to the values that he had. But we are going to modernize this party so we can deliver to the young people of this country where we have to go. Because the older people say at every meeting I have, Mr. Chasney, I am not worried about myself. Who I am worried about is my young'uns. That is who I am concerned about. It is for the young people that we have to do what we have to do. And I know that Flabos and many St. Lucians are prepared to work hard to do the right thing and to maintain the reputation that we have. And when I said at our convention, the goal of the men and women on this stage is to make sure that you don't need a visa to go to America. You don't need a visa to go to Canada. And you don't need a visa to go anywhere else in the world. You know why? Because we want to make this the best place in the world to live. We want to make this the best place in the world to work. And we want to make St. Lucia the sweetest place on the earth to come and visit. That is who we are, and that is what we can do, and that is what we are going to work every single day to deliver. But we cannot wait any more time. United Workers' Party is the only political party. United Workers' Party is the only political party to have held 2 marches last year. And the Labour Party said that we only know how to do marches. Well, I'm telling the Labour Party that if Hilaire does not resign, if they don't reconstitute the board, and if they do not put the legislation in place to make that an autonomous board, United Workers' Party will not support the Citizenship by Investment program. And we will organize the largest protest in the history of St. Lucia, because we will not stand by and watch the patronage of this party, of this country, being sold. And for only a few men and women of the Labour Party to benefit. The money must come to the people of this country. I want to say, the situation with impacts is not good. Because when you look at that situation, it tells us a very sad story. In March, the Prime Minister gave a speech and made all kinds of allegations about the policemen, about politicians, and about business people in this country. And in particular, about the Commissioner of Police. Many lawyers have written to say that Kenny Anthony prejudiced the case when he meant public and the statements he made. The next thing that happened is that Kenny Anthony then went after the Commissioner of Police and has forced him to resign. He has not allowed him to have his day in court. So natural justice has not occurred. It is Cabinet and the Prime Minister who became the judge and the jury with the Commissioner of Police. My people, we cannot allow that to happen in this country. When the DPP gave her report, what did she say? She said the money that was promised her to get the extra resources has never been given to her. She said that when the Jamaican policemen came to St. Lucia, they should not have been working with Kenny Anthony and the Cabinet. They should have been working with her as the DPP. And to insult more is that none of the evidence that was collected was sent to the DPP. So my Flabo, I want to ask you all a question. Is Kenny Anthony a lawyer? Is he a constitutional lawyer? And hasn't he been the Prime Minister for over 15 years? So how can a man like that make so many mistakes? So I am saying to us that Kenny Anthony did not make those as mistakes. He deliberately did what he did because he's wanting to sabotage the impacts case. But the question is, why? Who is he protecting? Why would he not want to see this thing come to an end if it was causing so much grief to the people of St. Lucia? So once again, Kenny Anthony and the Labour government have been destroying the reputation of St. Lucia. That is why I'm conflicted tonight. Because I know we are ready to put Kenny Anthony behind us. But I'm saying to all of us, not only do we have to get ready for elections, but we have to put pressure on this government to make sure they cannot continue to destroy the future of our young people. Because they are destroying the reputation of St. Lucia. They are jeopardizing the security of our country. And they are insulting the friends of our country. Many of you have family members in Canada. Many of you have family members in the United Kingdom. Many of you have family members in the United States of America. Soon the day will come that we cannot travel there. And that is not a threat. That is not to make you all scared. We've already seen that. Many of you who know when people go to Barbados now, less and less people are getting their visas. We must take this very seriously. So, Mama Flabo, we are ready. We are ready, and we've already been at war with the Labour Party. Because from day one, we recognize that Kenny Anthony and the Labour Party have not been at war with Alan Chastney. They have been at war with the people of this country. They have destroyed the employment in this country. They have destroyed the future of our country. So I'm asking all of you to join us. Whenever we call the next protest, when we cause the next agitation, I need you all to come out in numbers. I'm putting you on warning now. We are going to make Kenny Anthony serve the penance that he deserves. We are going to make sure that his last year in government will be the most painful experience that he's ever going to have. And we are going to give him no slack because he has lied, and there's nothing that we can trust in him. We know that he does not care about the people of this St. Lucia. For him to say that Mr. Jufali loves St. Lucia is an insult to all of us. It is time to make a change. It is time to look for a new government. And we, the men and women of the United Workers' Party, stand ready to bring victory to the people of St. Lucia and to bring a better future to all of you. I thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you and thank you for coming tonight, but let me present to you Team United Workers Party.
Unite, put the next by the flambeau and make your choice right. Flambeau say unite, unite the little children.
Bye-bye, Flambeau! This is the team of men and women who's going to lead you to the next election victory. Let me hear you make some noise for them.
You want the unemployment rate it for job and the banana industries that rise to the top. You want all your monthly salary to jack up and the price of food figure drop young flat. Remember 79 when the millibug pop and the whole of St. Lucia and the children nearly flop. Royal Captain Sir John pick it up. Rise the banana farmer smile and laugh. Put an X by the flambeau say you can't skylock. Got Dr. Mandesi the people them duck. So flambeau say you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your support. We thank every single one of you for being here tonight. Let me say thank you to the police and to everybody who helped make this public meeting a success. Thank you and have a safe trip home. And good evening. You will hear more from the United Workers' Party. Look out for our public meetings coming out in the new year. We also want to invite you to one of our community nights we'll be having on December the 14th. It's going to happen up in Grosile. The tickets are only $20. Check your constituency branch or your chairperson to get tickets and come and support your party and have fun on Monday the 14th of December. Check out your constituency. Thank you and have a good night.
It started like this.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy to finance job creation activities throughout the length and breadth of this island.
But ended like this.
The economy has undergone tremendous stress.
One of the worst economic records in the region. Between 2012 and 2014, St. Lucia lost over 4,000 jobs. Unemployment rate has gone up to almost 26%. He implemented VAT at 15%. Under his policies, St. Lucia's ease of doing business rating fell from number 53 in 2011 to 100 in 2014. In 2 years, Kenny Anthony borrowed more than half the total monies that the United Workers' Party borrowed in their entire 5-year stint and left the country with $383 million deeper in debt. So now, when Kenny Anthony talks about what he will do for the unemployed,
This government will continue to ease the burden of those who are unemployed.
remember, we've heard it all before.
Immediately upon getting into office, we will inject $100 million into the economy.
Kennynomics. It didn't work before, and it certainly won't work now.
In 2008, a worldwide economic meltdown.
An economic crisis that we haven't seen since the Great Depression, spreading across the globe.
Oil prices climbed to an all-time high. America's economy, Europe, and the Caribbean could not escape. But one country in the OECS, one island, recorded growth during a time when all other economies in the region recorded a decline. Some said the United Workers' Party government was not equipped to handle the economy, but it did, and did it better than any other country in the OECS. Hurricane Thomas came, the worst storm in St. Lucia's history, and the government pulled the country through successfully. Today, there is no economic meltdown, no Hurricane Thomas, no oil crisis, and yet the current SLP government cannot record growth in the economy. Yet still, jobs and more jobs are being lost while families are struggling to survive. Their solution? A 5% cut in public servants' salary. Businesses continue to close down, young people cannot find employment, and the roads are in the worst conditions ever. Fair Helen of the West is slowly dying, but we are not dead yet, and we're coming back. Because St. Lucia's greatness comes from hard-working citizens. And we believe in you. Because you don't quit. And neither will the United Workers' Party. Change is coming.
Seeing this? St. Lucia, the only Caribbean country on the top 10 list of countries in the world with the slowest economy, reported by the World Bank and CIA Fact Book. Do you know which countries are there with St. Lucia? Venezuela, Yemen, Russia, Libya. All these countries have failed economies, low levels of democracy, and high levels of corruption. While some may argue that the figures are a projection, need we remind you of the CDB's 2014 report, which stated that St. Lucia's economy contracted in 2014 for the third consecutive year since Kenny Anthony took office in 2011. But wait, did Kenny Anthony say that the World Bank, CIA Fact Book, and CDB provided false figures? These reputable organizations? Do you really need them to tell you how hard things are in this country? Did you really need the World Bank to tell you that Kenny Anthony cannot grow our economy? No. Who feels it, knows it. Kennynomics. He just doesn't have a clue.
When you feel like dying, who feels it knows.
What is the best word to describe Kenny Anthony's economic policies? Kennynomics. 66% increase in water bill? Kennynomics. 15% VAT? Kennynomics. Greenberg? Kennynomics. Rochamel? Kennynomics. Increase in light bill? Kennynomics. More tax and no increase in salaries? Kennynomics. 49% youth unemployment? Kennynomics. 25.9% unemployment? Kennynomics. Reduction in school subsidy program? Kennynomics. $11.2 million bridge? Kennynomics. Removal of subsidy on rice, flour, and sugar? Kennynomics. Increased tax on vehicle licenses? Kennynomics. Under Kennynomics, it's just not getting better. Say no to Kennynomics.